G'day everybody. What I would advise if we had to use nuclear. So say you docked all your things, right? So you can use them for defense. Like in a video game. In a video game, I used to play island strategy games much. I like to have lots of islands. As it was easier to manage and control your army, as I've mentioned about what I did in those strategy games in a previous clip. About how I had ships around my land and certain things, because defence is the first thing. Defend whatever can come over, as they're wasting their money coming over, getting blown up as I was well defended. Right? And so that would waste their resources. And while they're doing that, I would build up my resources in an army to get onto their land, just a corner of it, and try to attack here and attack there like they do in these strategy games. And then attack at the same spot over and over again to try to make it weaker and stuff like that. That's what they used to do. I'll end up just taking a whole force to their weakest area, as you're doing in strategy. Find out where their weakest area was. Land there, defend it. While I'm defending it, build a base quickly, as the base will defend itself once the army has been disposed of or defending, or pulled back in the army once the base is up, and heal and protect them. And then go from there and build on their land and attack them. That's how I used to play these games. So when it comes to nuclear, you can dock your nuclear stuff. Instead of having the nuclear power there, you could power it through underneath cables from a bigger nuclear source. Right? If that's the quickest way to get power at the moment, until you make better sources that can sustain you later on, and better fuel and so on. So you got to do a step first. And the best step is, if you're going to have nuclear, is to protect it. When it comes to these games, I had my nuclear devices that allowed you to have them in the water and on land. And I picked both. And I'd defend the ones in the water and have them hidden, as they were hard to find in the game, as you needed sonar and stuff like that. And I'd have ones on land. And I did both, and I'd have enough power in the water and on the land to power what I needed minimum. Without, building, because when you build it, you need more power in this game and so on. But you needed power for defense. But I'd have enough power, so one whole section went out, there was still enough for defense, while I can build up some more power plants to build more and stuff like that. And so what you do is you have your power plants protected, so you don't build, when you go to build new nuclear power plants now, you shouldn't build the traditional. You should think of the future and think of what could happen, and it more likely will, right? And so what you do is you build your nuclear underground, so it can't be bombed so easy. You always think of that if you can, number one. Or you have your nuclear power plant out in the middle of whoop whoop, and send off the power so that if it does go off, it only depletes land that's already pretty buggered, you know what I mean? So it's less loss. They're the choices. So you go out whoop whoop and longer cable, or say you don't have to spend so much money, right? And pollute another area but that's probably not good because it goes in the air. Or you go underground, where if it gets damaged in any way, you can easily block it up and contain it, so it just pollutes that area. And underground in the desert, even better. That's what I would recommend for areas for nuclear power plants. And then you can go big and go bigger. Have bigger ones that twice as big as the ones that just sit on top. You could go bigger, as it's more easier to keep safe. Anyway, have a good one, and bye-bye.